So Pastor Mboro and 2 others will remain behind bars, while 2 additional suspects charged for the panga-wielding incident at a Katlehong primary school have been released on bail. The case against the controversial church leader has been postponed to the 16th of August. But for more on his conduct, let's bring in now the Gauteng Provincial Chairperson from the South African Council of Churches. We are joined by Bishop White Rakuba. Bishop, a good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start with this. What is the first reaction from the South African Council of Churches on Monday when we see this video going viral of really what is quite a popular pastor in our country?
I must admit it was a shock to us. We know Reverend Mboro has been controversial in other issues in the past, but this one was really out of order. We cannot understand a church leader who will take a mere family dispute to go and do what he did in a primary school. By the way, the country is now having a problem of abduction of children, especially young people like that. And for him to have gone into the premises of the school with a panga and with an AK rifle, and actually demonstrated so bravely in front of everybody, threatening the staff, it does not actually show a good behavior by a church leader. And we are really shocked. Schools are supposed to be safe places for children. But if a person comes like that, it is really shocking. And we cannot condone what he has done. Yeah. And as a Council of Churches, we are saying the behavior of Mboro is really out of order. And surely he must understand it. There are legal... Hello?
No, go ahead, Bishop. Apologies.
Yes. I said there are legal processes. If they had a dispute about the children, the first thing should have been involving the families to resolve the problem. If it does not happen, they should have gone to the law. I mean, there are family courts where such disputes could have been resolved. But to do it publicly and like that, really it is shocking. Yeah.
You know, Bishop, we're running visuals right now of the site where Pastor Mboro's church once stood, right? Of course, it was burnt down on Tuesday in Katlehong by learners in the community from several different schools that came out and burnt the Incredible Happenings Church to the ground. And I think that the question then becomes, what is the relationship between, say, the Incredible Happenings Church and the South African Council of Churches? Because there is, of course, the discussion that's taking place around whether or not you do have some church leaders that act with impunity, that believe that they are, or may believe that they're above the law. So how do you, as the South African Council of Churches, you know, keep a close eye on what church leaders do in their churches, in their communities as the council?
Yeah, the issue is that there are churches that are members of our council, and there are those who are not members of our council. For instance, that one of Mboro is not a member. And in that way, it becomes very difficult to control him or to call him to order. But those that actually are members of our organization, we do have a way of actually making them to do the right things. Unfortunately, Mboro is not a member of the Council of Churches. But within Katlehong itself, we've got a number of members of our churches that we have been talking to the last few days about this situation.
Do you remember, Bishop, when this very same pastor that we talked about, that we're talking about in this instance, you know, there was a discussion taking place in the country, and in fact it was seen by even international media around Mboro posting pictures of himself in heaven. Some have said, right? And essentially why I'm bringing this up is to say, in instances where there is some sort of, action by a church leader that is untoward, even if they're not a member of the council, what is it that the council can do?
We are at the moment calling upon all our members in the area in the Gauteng province that we should come together and really deplore this situation and find a way of visiting the school and the families where possible so that we can talk to them. But a member of a church that is not our member, it becomes difficult because the problem in South Africa, anybody can start a church and anyway, and then they are always out of control. I mean, remember the people like Bobu Shiri, who ran such a big church, and when he left with such a scandal. And we've got so many of these guys in this country who are doing the same thing.
What is it that you'd like to see happening with Pastor Mboro and his co-accused and accomplices in this matter? I mean, what is it for the council that says, okay, we're seeing justice, because those images seen on Monday are, rather startling, right?
Yeah. We want to see justice being done to the children, and that Mboro must be called to account for what he has done. I mean, he cannot just be left like that. He must really go through the law and be punished for what he has done. Is what we want to see.
Yeah, but what do you make of the community burning down the church?
Well, you should understand that sometimes it's very difficult to control the anger of the people. But we would say they shouldn't have burned it down and allowed him to go there and then come back and then account for what he has done. But in a situation like that, you cannot control the anger of the people. And that's how it happened. Yeah.
One of the images that we saw with Motsoeneng's appearance in court with his co-accused, of course, is the large number of supporters that he did have in court, supporting the pastor himself. I mean, when you see those images, what do you think as the South African Council of Churches when people see the images that and there he is, right, and quite a bit of supporters attending the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court yesterday, supporting the pastor. But what do you then say or think of his supporters, particularly after we've seen a video of him entering Matsidiso Primary School with pangas and an armed man?
I've listened to some of them saying they will not even make any statement. Bonnet, they are supporting their pastor, and they will not say anything. But it is always the case. I mean, even at the time of Bushiri, after he has left the country, many people were supporting him. And these people will still continue that. Unfortunately, I would say people get so close to such people that they don't even see when they do wrong things.
Just perhaps talk to us about if as a community, particularly the religious community, right, and as religious leaders, you have created enough of a framework that says whether you are or not a member of the Council of Churches, that this is the framework you need to be working in, with the ethics that you need to be living by, and is that communicated? Is that clear?
Yes, actually, this is what we have always preaching to people. Even if they are not members of our church or of our organization, Christians should always behave according to the norms of the church, and they should not do things like this. And we will continue engaging the community in Katlehong, and so that people should understand the consequences of such behaviors.
Yeah. Bishop, we really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us there. Bishop White Rakuba, who is, of course, the Gauteng Provincial Chairperson from the South African Council of Churches, responding to what has come out of the activities in Katlehong, where we saw on Tuesday community members and learners from 7 schools in that community burning down the Incredible Happenings Church that, of course, is led by the controversial Pastor Mboro, who now is in custody back back in court on the 16th of August with his son, as well as his bodyguard, allegedly. And this is after a video surfaced on Monday of them entering Matsidiso Primary School in Katlehong, taking two children, one in grade R, another in grade 2, wielding a panga with an armed man beside him. But we're going to keep you updated on that story as it continues to unfold and the debate continues in South Africa.